Please welcome for the first time to the Bawdy stage, Janelle Tavares.
She's right, I am scared as fuck. So my story starts with me sitting in computer science lecture. Our usual professor isn't there, and the guest lecturer is a short, skinny man with gold wire rimmed glasses. He lets us know that there's been a change of schedule. He doesn't have slides, but he's going to provide some coding demonstrations so we can be introduced to the object-oriented programming concepts of polymorphism and inheritance.
What school?
He proceeds to set up the projector and open up his favorite code editor, VI. Before I know it, code is flying around the projector. This man can type fast and he's super smart, but it's VI that's making him look like a coding god. The features and the shortcuts make it powerful and efficient and effective, and I'm having a visceral reaction. My nerd boner is huge, and my nipples are erect. I take a second to survey the other students in the lecture hall to see what their reaction is, and I see Mike, a cute RA. At this point, I am an undergrad at a Polytechnic Institute in Massachusetts. I am majoring in electrical and computer engineering and minoring in computer science. I've been focusing on my electrical engineering courses, so my social life has basically failed. They're time-consuming, they're intense, and I only really know the people in my classes. Beginning my junior year, I decided to become an RA, and that opened up my social circle to people like Mike. Mike looks like the actor Dominic Monaghan from Lost and Lord of the Rings, but with dark eyes and a mop of dark curly hair. We've met eyes a couple of times, and there was butterflies, but we didn't really get a chance to talk yet. I find an excuse to talk to him after this titillating lecture. I catch him after class and ask him what he thought of all those coding examples. He says, yeah, he was crazy productive with VI. I enjoy using VI and Vim for homework. And did you know that they come installed standard with all Unix operating systems? His favorite of which is Ubuntu Linux. I say, I didn't know that, but I think I need to have this in my life. Tell me more. He proceeds to quickly offer to give me a demonstration and to help me with my first install. We make a date, and it's on. Come Friday night, he comes by my dorm room, and he's looking adorable with his curls, and he's very well prepared with his Ubuntu Live pre-burned CD. He immediately gets to speccing out my system and using Windows tools to partition my hard drive. I'm gonna have a dual boot. At this point, I'm as interested in the details of what he's going to do to my computer as I am to him. So I'm standing close to the monitor and making sure I'm absorbing everything, but I'm also in his personal space. And he doesn't seem to mind. He pushes back on me. Sometimes he rests his head on my hips. We're comfortable. At this point in the install process, he has rebooted the system, and he's up to the installation menus, and he's telling me how the operating system is going to be laid out on my disk. ext3 file format, here's the swap, here's the home directory. He knows what he's talking about. He is in his wheelhouse, and it's always arousing to see somebody do that. I'm feeling him more than ever. He goes on to tell me that when he finishes my config, I'm going to have some network shares so that I can access my files from all around campus. And I'm like, fuck yeah, networking. I hate those little USB keys. This is new technology for me, and the cloud was not so good at the time, so it was sexy. He also goes on to tell me that his Ubuntu Live CD is a little out of date, so he's going to have to get some updates, make sure everything's good, ready to go. And he tells me he's going to do this by opening up a terminal and issuing sudo apt-get update and upgrade.
Oh, yeah!
I let him know I haven't spent much time at the terminal yet, please explain more. He goes on to tell me that sudo is short for super user do, which is the most powerful account on the system. It has access to everything. Whatever comes after sudo has to be immediately executed. My response is, so sudo demands obedience. He gives me eyebrows and a giggle. Mm-hmm. So at this point in the install process, the menu comes up that asks for a username and password. I lean in, get to the keyboard, nonchalantly lay a breast on his shoulder, and let him know that I'm just going to use my name as the username, but for password, I'm going to use Hurt So Good, H-E-R-T-Z, as in the units of frequency. His mouth drops open a little bit, his eyes are wide. I can tell he's not used to any woman being forward with him. But his pupils tell me he's enjoying it. At this point, he lets me know that we just have to wait in the install process. He puts an arm around my hips. We've got a little bit of physical tension going on. My nerd boner is at full mast. So I make a bold move. I throw my leg over the chair and straddle him while saying, I really want to show you how much I appreciate you opening up my world to open source. Somebody's having a code orgy to make sure that we can have this experience and we get to have a real life interaction. He digs his fingers into my hips and kisses me deeply, and I know he's feeling it just as much as I am. It's on. We start taking our clothes off, and I position myself under the desk in front of him so he still has access to the keyboard. I start taking his pants and shorts off. I put my face next to his thigh so he can feel my steamy breath when I say, I want you. I can see his cock dance a little bit to finish my install. He's game. He enjoys the tease. He's calling out the numbers on the progress bar as I start to tease his cock. Light kisses and caresses, licks and flicks. It gets harder and bigger, and his fully erect penis has a beautiful curve to it. As he starts calling out 80s and 90s, I start to take his cock into my mouth, just the tip at first, and then deeper and deeper. When he gets to 100%, he only has a few key strokes left before the config is done. I push his chair back, I get up, I take the rest of my clothes off, I lead him to the bed and say, "Sudo lick me." He's more than happy to oblige. He is quite enthusiastic, skilled is what he's doing. His tongue is running up and down my labia. I've gotten quite steamy and throbbing lust going while I was going down on him, so the way that he is tickling and teasing and pleasing my clit is fantastic. Firm pressure is great. I want to let him know that this is good, give him some positive feedback, and also let him know that he's found a spot that if he lingers on long enough, I'm going to come. So I say, "File 1, open curly brace, right there, semicolon, don't stop, semicolon, close curly brace." He takes the feedback like a champ, gets it just right, and I start coming. Pleasure is shooting all over my body, rippling contractions, a deep and satisfying release. I pull his face up from between my legs, and it's all wet and glistening. I kiss him deeply, and I can taste me on him. That's fucking hot. I whisper in his ear, "You mounted my network shares, I mount you." We switch positions on the bed. I move him to the edge of my twin double long so that I can have one leg folded on the bed and one leg on the floor for extra leverage. I get him a condom and he puts it on. I'm so wet from my orgasm, he's so hard from going down on me that the first stroke is balls deep. I continue to fuck him vigorously. His body has uncontrollable contractions. I see so much tension in his neck. It doesn't take that long for him to start to come to. And he has a big release, and the moaning and sounds like animals. When his body goes limp, I declare, "You mount." I dismount him. And lay on the bed next to him. We are a sweaty pile of post-orgasmic glory. I eventually look back to the system and see the beautiful swirly background of Ubuntu, welcoming me to further discovery. To this day, Ubuntu is still my favorite operating system. And I only boot into Windows if I absolutely have to, and even then begrudgingly.
Janelle Tavares! Good job.